Welcome to YonNfoolery, y'all. I'm YonNfoolery. This is Paragon, and you are YouTube. So I'm here to show you guys how to build a deck. I am not the best. I'm not the person that you want to go to per se, but I felt that I wanted to get this out there. So this is me doing it wrong right now. I picked the wrong affinities. But there are 5 affinities. Each of them gives you a really brief description of kind of the way they play, what their kind of main points are. So pick the ones that you feel right for you or feel right for the character and the way you want to play it. So here I've gone and I've decided I'm going to play Death and Chaos for Twin Blast. Earlier you saw a little bit of footage that was me playing with his default deck. So now I'm in here kind of looking through his cards, trying to decide what cards I feel would go well with him. So I'm looking all the way over on the right side. You can see a brief description of what the card does. At the top, it'll give you what it will do as far as affecting your attributes. Down below that, if it has any active or passive abilities, it'll let you know what those. This one had execute minions. So what that will do is it'll kill minions when they get weak. This one gives me some armor piercing and stuff. But at any rate, what I did here is up in the just below the word finalize up here, there is a nifty little thing that sorts out your cards in different orders. So here I go. I'm going to delete all those, and I'm going to switch that now to cost, which will put all of my cheapest biddly bobs at the top. And now I'm going to put some cheap cards in. So here I have Living Guardian. What this one does is it builds up a really nice armor for me when I get consecutive hits. How nice of me to let you guys read that if you want to. I'm not going to slow any of this down. If you want to read any of the abilities on these cards, this is Call the Weak. This is the one that executes the minions. It kills minions when they get down to 20% of their, or when they have only 20% health left. And then I just kind of start going through the cards here, and you can have up to 12, and there's no reason not to have 12. You can have, if there's only 4 or 5 cards that you like, then make sure you put those in there. But there's no reason to put a few cards that you're like, well, I don't know, because you never know. Maybe it will be great. But this guy here gives you a nice little boost. It's kind of like a big jump forward when you activate it, and then it has a cooldown before you can use it again. And then I just kind of go through looking through the cards, and the big deal is up in the top right corner. You'll notice what I was talking about, the cost. There's those little symbols with numbers next to them, and most of them are either the sword, the heart, or the lightning bolt. The lightning bolt has to do with your intelligence, which kind of has to do with the way your mana powers up. Your heart, green heart there, is obviously your health and that type of stuff. And then the sword up top is your agility, which has to do with the amount of damage you can do and how fast you get around to be able to get around and do the damage. So I'm filling out my deck here. You notice now I'm getting to some more expensive cards. So you want to start with the weaker middle, or the weaker cheap cards. Then you move to some that cost 3 to 5, maybe 6 total, if you add up all the things. And then you want to come down and grab a couple of end game cards, and those are going to be your 7, 8, 9, up to 13, 16, kind of ridiculous price stuff, because when you first start off, you're going to pick your cheap ones, but then as you get later into the game, you'll sell your cheap ones back and get all of the points back for them in that specific attribute tree, so that you can then buy more cards that are or other cards that are more expensive. So you want to try to make sure that you kind of pay attention to the grand total here, because when you max out your attribute tree, you have 25 points available for that tree. So if you ever go to you want 2 really expensive cards in agility, and when you add them up, it comes to 26 or 27. You need to know you're only ever going to use one of those cards at a time, because you're not going to be able to afford both at the same time. So I've got 10 cards now. As you can see, it's a pretty filled out deck. Uh, and that's when you're picking your cards. That's really the most important things for you to think about. Is um, the attributes and how they are going to play. So like my character, I'm going to want him to do a lot of damage. I'm not worried about his mana so much. So I tried to kind of keep the amount of intelligence to a minimum. So there's only 2 cards in there that really deal with intelligence, and the amount that is required for those is like 5 or less. Uh, unless I did both of them, which I would not usually do. But if I did both of them, I think it adds up to like 7. I can't remember. I can't see what those numbers are right now. But yeah. So now we're over here at the gems. Now the gems, I'm starting down at the intellect because this is the one that I have the least of. So I wanted to pick my most important one, and I wanted it to be a tier 2 gem. Because I felt that that would be good, like I'll get up to that. But then I started to think about it, and I was like, well, I really don't want to use a lot of his intellect, so I don't know how for certain I'm going to be getting up to that tier 2 level of gem. Because the first point you put into this tree will unlock your first gem, if you have it in that tier 1 slot. That tier 2 slot isn't going to unlock until you've put at least 7 points into that 7th point will unlock that tier 2 gem. So I come down here to slot 1 and I put a tier 1 in. And it looks like I'm going to pick, I would think I would pick auto shield, but I can't remember. I might have done auto mana potion just because I'm not going to be doing a whole lot in the mana department. So having an auto mana potion could be useful. And what that'll do is once my mana gets down to a certain level, it'll automatically passively in the background recognize that and add in a start refilling my mana for me. Or it'll increase my mana regeneration rather, so it'll start refilling my mana faster. So I'm just kind of comparing because I have like 3 or 4 mana potion gems, and I'm just kind of comparing them back and forth, figuring out if there's one that's better. I think I had one that had a little bit slower cooldown. The same with the auto shields. I might have even went with onslaught, honestly, but I feel like I went with... Okay, looks like I chose auto shield. So auto shield, whenever you get out of combat for a certain amount of time, it starts to build up a shield for you so that you take a little less damage when you get back into combat. So we moved up here to Vitality. I don't want to put too many gems into Vitality. You only have 6 gems. You do have to use all 6, but you don't have to put them in any order. As you saw with the Intellect, I was going to start with the Tier 2 and not put anything in Tier 1. So you can mix and match around all the different slots as you see fit. With the Vitality, I know I'm eventually going to get up here. So I know that either the damage reduction or the armored, either one of those is going to be useful in mid-game when the enemy starts dealing more damage. And it looks like I'm going with damage reduction. Yes, so I chose the damage reduction. So enemies will be, I will be able to shave off a percentage of basic attack damage that is dealt to me. Now the really important one for me was agility. I want my attack to just be devastating. And so what I'm doing here is the most important one to me was this multi-shot because I'm a ranged fighter. And my basic attack is a ranged attack. That multi-shot is going to take my basic attack, split it, instead of doing 1 shot, it'll split it into 3. The first shot will be normal. The second 2 shots will attack at 60% normal damage. So I'm essentially doing 220% damage. Once I can get up to that one. But as you can see, Tier 1 is the first one. Tier 2, I'm just talking about... so this one's Tier 1. This one's Tier 2. I just put my gem in there. And then this one up here is Tier 3. So, yeah. There's those. So I'm going to take those off. Okay. So, and then you just since I had an extra one, I didn't see anything in the others. I figure I'll just kind of look around. Maybe I'll put a tier 1 in, or maybe I'll put the tier 3 in, you know. And then I look, oh, this is pretty cool. But anyway, and then you have tier 4 and tier 5. Obviously, you can put up to 5 on any one of them. But the tier 3, so it's 1, 7, 7, 8, 13. You have to have 13 points to get that top one. So once you put your 13th point in that attribute tree, that's when you unlock that last one. And that was the really important one for me, was that multi-shot thing. So yeah. So I did decide to put the quick exit. And what quick exit gives me is, so as soon as I put that first vitality point in, when I leave my base, I'll move quicker for like 5 seconds. Which doesn't sound like much, but it really comes in handy, as you guys will see a little bit later. After I'm done building this with all my gems, then you move over to finalize. And I'm about to select it. And when you select finalize, then you can choose to name your deck. I made this deck for Twin Blast, so I felt that blasters, or something like that. Oh, yeah. So when I edited this earlier to put all the video footage together, I chopped out a piece of music to put in another piece of music to highlight the fact that I got a really badass multi-kill. So yeah, blasters. So look for the moment where the music changes, and that music you just heard was the music that I removed to put the music that calls attention to that double kill.
Or you fall asleep on me?
And
I've been waiting a while, so I feel like I'm just gonna pop out.
so I was waiting on Mr. Cammy Bear, who's like, sorry guys, I've got my nose is, as always, stuffed up and whatnot. Wiping it on camera here for you. Anyway, I was checking with him whether or not he was still here. He wasn't, so I left his party, and here we go. So I'm gonna pick Twin Blast. I'm gonna show you guys what I can do with Twin Blast. Now that I have a full deck, so I'm gonna go away. I'll commentate on some of the things. I'll pop back in and commentate on some of the things that I feel are important in match that have to do with buying the cards. But until then, I'll see you then. All right. So again, this right here kind of shows you. You can see a whole bunch of decks pop up here. And that's because you don't, all decks work for all characters, but I select blasters because that's the deck we just built. And then you start off with 1,000 gold, so I pick my cheap card, I apply it, and now I'm good to go. So I head on out, and you're only going to have that first card to start with. Don't worry about that, but go ahead and put that card on from the get, as long as you have one that you can afford, which is why you want to put one of those cheap ones in there. This one helps me kill the minions quicker. Killing minions will get you gold, which helps me get me more cards quicker. That's why I like this card so much. Anyway, I'll be back when there's more to say. just a quick little thing. Whenever you level up in the match, as you're going to see me do here, you can pop open your little in-game menu and then select the button for the ability that you want to unlock. So I chose to unlock my L2 ability, which allows me to do a double shot like that. So not really deck building, but also has to do with the way you play your character throughout the match. So I just figured I'd toss it out there. So. Alright, so right there you can see I only have one card right now, but I just died. So that gives me the opportunity to end up back at base, which is where you have to be to buy new cards. So I'm gonna have to buy an attribute point. I choose to buy my health point. That allows me to buy that one health card. Now I have this quicker boost out of base. As you can see, I'm glowing now, which is me running, and that's that guy right there, that card. When I leave base, the card doesn't do it. The gem. Remember the gem I bought? So that first point I put in gave me that extra passive ability that when I leave base, I'm a little bit faster for that 5 seconds. I kill this guy because whenever you kill him, he gives you, as you saw, 200 gold. And I don't know if it's always that. I think it changes as the match progresses. But the more gold you have, the more cards you can buy. As you can see up in the top corner, top right corner, I currently have 1,200, 1,300 gold. The more minions that are killed, the more gold I get. If I kill enemies, I get a lot of gold. You also get a lot of experience for those enemies. Now I'm almost to 2,000, and I've leveled up again. I now have my ultimate. So, I think I'm gonna want to get probably 1 to 2 more thousand. If I remember to do it, I can actually put my attribute points. You can buy attribute points while you're out here in the field. You can only buy cards when you go back to base. So, she's coming back. She's trying to push hard on me here, and she ain't gonna do it. Not gonna happen. I might even kill her again. Oh yeah. Killed her, and then her buddy killed me. Haha. So now I have 3,000. So that is my next card is my next most expensive card is I think, or my next affordable card is 4 or 5. But I went ahead and put one in the intellect just to get that one gem that we put in intellect. So I'll never have to put another thing in intellect if I don't want to. The only time I'll put something in intellect is if I want to buy one of the cards that takes 2 or 3 or 4 intellect. So I dip down into the jungle here. The jungle is a place where you can go fight these minions, and if you can do it, killing them will build up your gold really fast, and give you experience and whatnot. So that's a really great way to build your character up a little bit stronger, go buy some more cards, then get back out into the fight with a whole bunch of extra abilities and perks. So that's what I'm here doing. Alright, so this guy's a little bit bigger. He does a little bit more damage, but if you kill him, he gives you a boon. The boon is this little green orb that you get to carry around, and it gives you a shield so that you don't take as much damage And in addition to that, when the shield wears out and disappears over a period of time or over a period of damage it takes, it explodes and does a little bit of damage to everyone in the area that's an enemy. So a couple of neat perks with it. So there's a lot of that kind of stuff out here in the jungle. There's this guy right here. They're really easy to kill, and they'll give you a speed boost or an attack boost or invisibility or some different stuff like that. And what they do is, in addition to that, they actually recharge your mana. So as you can see, my mana popped back up, and I went and got that character kill, which gave me more gold. So yeah, now we're going to go attack a tower, which is another big thing you want to do. We have all of our minions here, so it's going down fast, and then I just used my ultimate on it to go a little quicker. And get this sucker done and go do some more damage. Speaking of damage, that guy was the one on the other side of the river, and as you see it said, it gives me a DOT to enemy characters, which means damage over time. So we see these guys, they're trying to attack my tower, and I ain't gonna let that happen. So we're gonna go make them have a really bad day. Alright, so we're about to kill Gideon again here for, I think, what is the 4th time? So he's probably pissed at us, but we're up to 5,000 gold in the top right corner, you can see there. So we really probably should have had our 3rd card by now, but didn't happen, and hasn't happened. So we're level 10, we're almost up to 6,000 gold at this point. I hope that you all know better to get back and get your cards bought. I do notice it here, I think, and then head back to buy a couple cards when this doesn't go as planned. Yeah, that's what happens. I die here. I thought I could get this destroyed. I don't destroy it, but my minion does when I leave. So, but anyway, I'm back here at base camp. And I've got some gold to spend here, boys. So I decided to put the 2 and 2 in there. Grab that. I have the 2 down in intellect just in case I want to go grab that jump card I talked to y'all about. And now I'm kind of just looking at where I'm going to need things in the future, because now I'm remembering that I should be buying these attribute points when I'm out in the field. I almost forget to buy everything, but then I go push that on, and then just after I leave, I got some more. No, that wasn't this time. Anyway, I'll see you guys. These guys just cannot take a hit. Alright, y'all, so right here I realized that I remember that I can actually increase my abilities on the fly by buying my attribute points in the middle of a match. So you'll see me go put that there, that took that 1,000 points away, and now I have more agility. And that got me that last gem there, so now when I come up against the enemy player that has 20% health, 20% of their health missing, I do extra damage to them, which just helps me kill people faster and get more gold and get more cards. Alright, y'all, so I've got enough now that I'll be able to start getting some of my more powerful cards that cost a lot more points. But I don't have enough room anymore. So what I have to do is I'm going to sell back one or two of my cards. I think it's this guy. Yep. I'm going to sell him back, and when I do that, it'll give me an extra agility point because that's how much he cost. Then I can come over here and purchase the one that I want that costs 5. So I had 4, sold back the one that I had one left. That gave me 5. Now I have 5. So we're going to run back out, and that card that I just purchased makes my all of my ability damage, or no, makes my basic attacks penetrate if somebody has armor against it. So I can do shit like that and just demolish him. So here we go, y'all. Alright, y'all, so as you can see in the top corner, I have almost 4,000, and right there I'm almost 4 points away from getting that really great gem. And then I've spent all my gold. Oh no! That's because I accidentally deleted some of this video. Anyway, case in point, I have that unlocked now, and now my character is a lot more powerful because of that ability, so you'll get to see me just demolish some of these minions. Alright, yeah. And then here again, you can see I've got some points up, some gold up in the corner, so I go ahead and add an extra agility, or, health point in there. So I put a funny little filter on some of the spots of the video that I felt were stuff I'd want people to pay attention to, so that's why that looked like that. Killed him again. I've killed that Durango I don't know how many times now. And we are approaching the end of the match here. Things are starting to get pretty intense, and my character has definitely beefed it up at this point. I have become what I hoped for. So this deck did do for me what I intended, and that is from a lot of experience. I did not make perfect decks to start with. I made horrible decks, and I deleted them and have made new decks since. So I've played around with the system quite a bit. Watch YouTubers, go look around. There are people out there who will tell you the perfect build for different characters by their opinion, but the only way for you to really know what's going to be perfect is to go give it a shot. Just load on in and see what works and see what don't. And if it works for you, great, man. I mean, like, if somebody says, no, all those cards are trash, but they work great for you, rock that bitch. So the core's about to get destroyed here. I will not be doing it personally. Me and this Gideon are going to take down this Grux. Gideon gets the kill. That's all good, because I got experience out of it, and I'm already level 20, and so I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you found this helpful. I am YonNfoolery. You are YouTube. This was Paragon. So thank you for watching YonNfoolery. If you liked it, leave a like. If you disliked it, leave a dislike. Otherwise, subscribe for future videos. I'll see you guys next time.